In a recent meeting, the Pope had to ask priests to stop using ChatGPT when writing sermons.
Y'all really believe that magic is a show, do you? You got a lot to learn. I'll be right back.
They were really into psychic abilities, telekinesis.
Pay attention, y'all. Here go another one.
Darkness falls and the screen comes alive once again. Welcome to Chill Spot, where the strange and unsettling find their home. Tonight, we bring you videos that will haunt your thoughts long after the credits roll. Viral TikToks, eerie moments, and more it's all waiting for you. The show is about to begin, so sit back, but keep one eye open. You never know what's coming next.
Bro, we are so cooked. In a recent meeting, the Pope had to ask priests to stop using ChatGPT when writing sermons. I told you. This is the leader of 1.3 billion Catholics around the world. And for him to announce it like this makes you wonder, how widespread is this issue? In a world's first, he urged priests to, quote, resist the temptation of using artificial intelligence when writing sermons because AI will never be able to share faith. And that's kind of crazy because if you think about it, if politicians are using AI to write speeches, governments are using AI to write laws, therapists are using it to respond to patients, and even now priests to share the word of God, in 5 years' time, how much of the world's thought will even be human anymore?
We never actually die. When our body stops, we only shift to the next reality, a version of reality where you are still alive. Think about those moments you should have been gone, a car crash that barely missed you, a near drowning where help came out of nowhere, a medical scare that suddenly turned around. That wasn't just luck. People describe the same strange feeling after these moments, like life continued, but something feels slightly off. Small things, memories don't line up, details feel different, not enough to explain, but enough to notice. After near-death experiences, many people say the world feels unfamiliar in tiny ways. The same places, the same people, but not exactly the same. Almost like waking up in a version of life that's close, just not identical. That could explain why the world feels more chaotic every year. Not because everything is falling apart, but because people are quietly moving into different versions of reality without realizing it. And here's the part that's hard to sit with. You've already gone through this many times. You just don't remember the moments where you didn't make it. You only remember the version where you survived. Life didn't end. It continued, just slightly changed.
This is just a theory, not a fact.
Hey everyone, thanks so much to all our channel members for the amazing support. It's helped the channel grow so much. Welcome to today's video.
Guys, this Chinese man died live after preparing a forbidden recipe, even though all the ingredients were supposedly edible. As you can see, there were lizards, grasshopper legs, roots, glass noodles, berries, and bay leaves. Never try to recreate this recipe at home. There were also all kinds of mushrooms that were said to be perfectly edible, but you're about to see how horrific the result was. He mixed everything together and blended it into a paste, claiming it was easier to eat that way. Once the paste was ready, he formed big balls. But it didn't stop there. You're about to see the monstrous effect this recipe had on him. He then added Tabasco sauce to the mixture and shaped balls that looked completely edible. But the moment he started eating them, the horror began. Even though all the ingredients were considered edible, he bit into the black ball live, and at that moment, no one expected what was about to happen. Of course, it didn't taste good, but normally it shouldn't have been dangerous to his health. These are foods that people in China commonly eat, and yet, very strangely, a first nosebleed appeared. Everyone thought it was a prank during the live stream, but the reality is, this was absolutely not a joke, and this man was simply living his final moments.
Cette ville de fou là. Là c'est bon maintenant. D'habitude ça arrive un peu mais là c'est carrément fort. Elle vous a fait une queue grave. Ils ont dit elle arrive plus à poser son corps. Allah. Ouais.
Mais ouais, je crois là, c'est quoi? C'est de la sorcellerie. C'est pas de la sorcellerie. C'est bon, madame.
Vas-y, mets-la dans le sac, vite, elle va voler. Mets-la. C'est pété le truc. Allez, tiens, je tiens. Attends, tiens. C'est bon. Là, c'est là pour voir. Le sac, c'est bon.
Ah, le sac, il m'a volé. Pay attention, y'all. Here go another one. Look, the little boy, he trying to debunk what's going on here, and he can't do it. We need to make this go viral, y'all. Like, follow, share, and let me know what y'all think in the comments. Check him out. We used to take things to a whole nother level. When it comes to that energy, you see what I'm saying, in them chakras? Man, we was the coldest, and we still is. We still is. They don't want us to see this, though, y'all. They don't want to know. They don't want us to know how powerful we really is. Look at the boy. He still don't know what's going on. He trying. It's blowing his mind. Look at it.
If you thought superpowers, or as they always call them, abilities, did not exist, think again. Those clips just proved you wrong. I believe all human beings have them, and it's all about discovering your unique ability.
Y'all really believe that magic is a show, do you? You got a lot to learn. I'll be right back. He's eating real nails. And watch how a nail's gonna come out of his nose. He does this on the street in front of people. Real quick, the video goes all the way through. I'm the one who made the cuts in the video for this video. And I'm about to show you more in a second. So people think that this is like special effects and theatrics. What if I told you that contracts with demons go back to the very beginning? Don't believe me? Well, what is this? It was commonly known in the medieval ages that these people would enter into a contract with demons. The demons here then agree to be their slave as long as they live. But the catch is, when they inevitably die, and they will, the magician himself becomes slave to the very demon he made a contract with, making the demon their master. Eternally, forever. There are even many books on the subject. And this magic, spelled with a K, goes really deep, to even forfeiting your human soul to the demon of your choice for some kind of power. But you can't lose your soul. If you go to the grave serving demons, theoretically it's already gone. Not to mention the immense blasphemy you have to enter into. You didn't know there are people on this earth with actual powers? They don't really belong to them, though. They belong to the demons. It's funny to me, Christians don't believe that. I mean, just think of the showdown between Moses and the sorcerers when Moses was using the power of God to bring all these signs and these great wonders, and the sorcerers were doing the same thing, but by the power of pagan magic. And that's not all. There's hundreds of stories in the Bible about magicians and sorcerers and real magic. For instance, when King Solomon went evil and started worshiping these gods because of one of his wives. Let me show you some more witchcraft that's right in the open.
Shake it, okay? Shake, much more, shake. Shake it, stop. Open the can. What? Well, nothing. Lower, right? Because now CO2 is in my hand, watch. 1, 2, 3, go.
Stop being ignorant, they show you what they do. The word right behind me is a word for intimacy. Intimacy magicians. Y'all don't remember that Red Hot Chili Pepper album? The way that our society moves is in tune with magic, even if you don't know they're doing it. They even do it to birth certain people. We'll get into that tomorrow. If you're on Facebook, you can use that following button and turn on notifications so you'll know when I post. But it's a big one.
L is actually the real villain in Stranger Things. It's not what you think, though. Okay. Remember Will? In the very beginning of the season, he was the one taken by Vecna, taken into the Upside Down. Yeah. The theory's saying it was actually 11 that made Will get caught. Wait. It was her fault that Will got taken by Vecna, brought into the Upside Down. When Will was running away from the Demogorgon or Vecna, whoever, right? There's a scene where the door lock unlocks itself. Yeah. The director said in an interview that Demogorgon Demogorgons are not able to do that. Only things with psychic abilities. Right? Who's the only other psychic? Elle or Vecna, right? Now we know Vecna definitely took Will, but even in season 1, there was a very unspoken and unanswered reasoning why Elle already knew Will. Remember that one scene where Mike is showing a picture of his friends and it had Will and then and Lucas and everyone in the pic, and then Elle looks at the pic, and this is when she just meets Mike. She goes, Will. She knew who that was already.
You know Will? Did you see him? Last night?
The reason why? Elle was actually running from the Demogorgon or Vecna, and she unlocked the door to let the monster in to take Will instead of her. This theory makes sense because apparently she would have hid in the backyard shed, Will's backyard shed. Later in that season, they find out there's a sleeping bag in that shed. When Will runs to the shed, when he's running away from Demogorgon, the light in there is already on. So Elle just made it so that Will would get caught and she could get away. Even in season 1, there's a scene of her saying, I opened it. I'm a monster.
I opened it. I'm the monster.
Shout out to the Jumpers Jump podcast for that great review. But I don't think 11 was the villain, considering the whole series was based on her saving the day. Tell us what you think down below, and also comment if magic is demonic too.
They were really into psychic abilities, telekinesis. They were into that because they wanted to get the DNA. Epstein was funding all the technology that can reprogram RNA and DNA. He was working with Bill Gates and Fauci. In the files had talked about wanting to be intrinsically linked to every single person on Earth through the vaccine. It seems as if he was wanting a fragment of his own biology inside of this vaccine. And by that way, every single person will be walking around with genetics of Epstein. It's humanity against darkness. Everyone has to come together to really wake everybody up. Don't allow these kids to suffer in vain. These elites are going to go out kicking and screaming. That's what we're seeing right now. The end of an age, this last temper tantrum.
Epstein was literally creating Neanderthal hybrid humanoid beings in his underground tunnels and on his island. This was stated in the Epstein files. They're creating beings that look just like this by splicing their DNA and then creating a homunculus that grows on its own in their labs that they have, and then they do whatever they want to these creatures, which I don't even want to know what they did. It had to be horrifying. If you want to read this for proof, here's from the Epstein files that were released in 2026. I am back from Rome. I'm in Vienna now. This is coming from Martin Nowak to Jeffrey Epstein. He said he got a complete Neanderthal genome. Would you like to use this? The two of you could build a Neanderthal person. And so they literally did just that. And they bring the kids that they kidnapped and they torture them by having them interact with these strange homunculus creatures that they created. And the best way to scare someone is by showing them a literal monster at the age of like 3 years old or even younger. Like, you think that's going to scare a kid? Of course it is. It's going to scare them so much that their adrenaline gets pumping and it gets into their blood, and you know what they want from the blood once that happens. And this is all art, but it was made by Patricia Pancini, and she probably made this to expose what was actually going on. She probably saw this with her own eyes. They would have these creatures sleep with the kids that they took. They created taller beings which would steal the kids away and bring them to their evil masters. They would force them to live lives in these underground tunnels and then grow old with other Neanderthals. They probably make them reproduce with each other, so who knows how many of these beings still exist down there. I mean, look at this. This is like half Neanderthal, human, and pig hybrid. If you didn't know, pigs actually have human DNA in them. That's why we shouldn't eat them. And then they grow like this, and they nurse them just like an animal. It's just like really terrifying stuff, but the whole picture is coming together now. We have the artwork, which shows what happens. We have the proof, and the government-issued Epstein files that were released. We know that what they're up to, and you know, there's that saying, the truth is stranger than fiction. Well, this is the strangest thing out of anything, and no one talks about it. But this is 100% what happened in those underground tunnels. There's no movies about this, because it's too horrifying, it's too scary.
You remember I decoded the Epstein chalkboard, but in the recent files, I found the wider picture that shows the full board.
Well, alright, class. Let's break it down.
This is a ritual system for social engineering. Look at the top. Distribution. That's the bell curve. Population control. The goal is to keep most people average, dull, and easy to manipulate by controlling exactly what they see. Now look at the machine code. This is Kabbalah stuff, disguised as math. M objects are mathematical objects. To them, your data. Miracles are engineered awe. The matrix is the cage, and the university board is the gatekeeper. Then you see beauty. That's Tiferet from the Tree of Life, weaponized to gold-tune your identity. Now look all the way to the right. See this money sign, DT? This is the flow of capital. The money sign proves that this is a funded operation. In elite systems, DARPA tech, and psychological warfare, DT stands for Digital Twin. It's a data-driven replica of you, a shadow self in AI form used to simulate your behavior. They predict your outcomes and run psychological simulations before they ever deploy them in the real world. They're not just watching you, they're testing your digital twin to see how to break you. And look at the code block, SB00. That's the protocol. The S with the T underneath, that's signal tuning. They're tuning the signal of your behavior at the base layer, ground zero, using the digital twin as the blueprint. It all leads to the lab high school. Recruitment points, probably gate programs, psyops, and handlers. They find you early, mark you as gifted, and tune your identity into the digital twin before you ever hit the university board. This explains how they run the distribution. Rumors link Ghislaine to Maxwell Hill, the Reddit powerhouse who controlled the flow of world news. She was the operator. The account went dark on June 30th, 2020, exactly 2 days before she was arrested. She was managing the frequency for the machine. Why do they do this? Why the rituals? Because the people running this board believe they are the Nephilim bloodline. To them, humanity is just a resource to be farmed. It's not just a science project, it's a genetic destiny. They're using this formula to install the hybrid god and reclaim the throne through transhumanism. It's a map for elite tech overlords to mold identity, hijack perception, and control consciousness. It's Kabbalah turned into a weapon to install the hybrid god.
That's so insane what they did in Epstein's Island, and these files keep getting creepy as more people keep decoding them, and I believe some of these experiments were also funded by the government in some ways. Let's continue. There is more.
I seen something really messed up in the Jeffrey Epstein files. They found a file talking about them cloning celebrities so that they can do things to the version of that celebrity that they wanted.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so they were investing billions into cloning and trying to clone celebrities, specifically Britney Spears at the time, so that they could do things to a version of that clone. In the files, it stated that this clone might be like years old today if the clone is still alive.
Holy
And
smokes.
is pretty much like Britney Spears' clone.
Yeah.
I'm sure in their head they think like cloning it, okay, boom, expendable.
And where do the bodies go after? Do you see that too with the trapdoor into the
Yeah,
ocean?
literally in that one picture, it shows in the bottom floor, it goes straight to the depth of the ocean.
Okay guys, pretty crazy breaking news. The president and CEO of the World Economic Forum has just resigned after the organization launched an investigation into his ties with, you guessed it, Jeffrey Epstein. Man, do you know what that means? That means in the last week alone, not Prince Andrew, arrested, Lord Mandelson in the UK, arrested, Bill Gates formally apologized to his staff at the foundation, admitted 2 affairs with Russian women. Larry Summers, he just announced yesterday that he too will resign after Harvard launched an investigation into his ties with Epstein. Nobel Prize winner and leading molecular biologist Richard Axel, he also announced yesterday that he too was resigning. Bill and Hillary Clinton are having to testify in front of Congress today and tomorrow on their ties with Epstein. A couple of days ago, a legal review was just ordered into the president of Bard College, and then today, the head of the WEF, which is widely considered one of the most influential organizations around the world, also gone. And that is just 1 week. That's crazy.
Some of the stuff that Nicki Minaj said out of her mouth left me flabbergasted. She said things like Donald Trump and JD Vance were heroes, that they were role models for our children. She said that when they speak, she can tell that they're speaking for us, that they make us feel proud to be American. She said that they have given us a chance to beat the bad guys and win. She also said something to the effect that really bothered me. Nicki Minaj said, it's not just that we tell black children to feel proud of themselves, but it's like we're doing that, and at the same time, we're telling other children not to feel proud of themselves. And so I guess she was alluding to this false narrative that the conservatives are putting out there, that teaching black children black history and teaching white children the true history of America is somehow going to make white children feel bad about themselves.
Final question, is there anything that you may want to confess tonight?
I keep everything right here.
There you go.
Or right here.
There you go. That's how you do it, right? Y'all have an
3 days after the release of the docuseries on Diddy, everyone is shocked because 50 Cent has more dirt on Diddy than the FBI. We had never seen anything like this. And when I say he has dirt, I mean videos and audio recordings 30 years old, never seen by anyone before now. He has footage from Biggie, from Tupac, and even one of the most mind-blowing recordings ever heard, coming from a Diddy associate, telling the police what really happened the night Tupac died. The first 2 episodes don't talk about his trial or the accusations. They show who Sean Combs really was behind the polished image he showed the public. But above all, they show his involvement with Tupac, Biggie, and their deaths. What stands out the most is that Diddy was someone deeply jealous and spiteful, who manipulated everyone around him. He always wanted to be the biggest, and he especially hated seeing the people around him succeed. That explains perfectly why he was so jealous of Tupac. At that moment, Tupac was everything Diddy wasn't. Believe it or not, Tupac and Biggie got along well at first. But seeing that, Diddy tried to get involved and start working with Tupac, except Tupac refused. He didn't care at all about working with Diddy and only wanted to collaborate with Biggie. And that's when Diddy launched the war between the West Coast and the East Coast. I'll let you imagine what happened after that. I seriously think you should watch these 4 episodes yourself. There's never before seen footage you are absolutely not prepared for.
They've been telling us since 1999, guys, when The Mummy first came out. Shh. It's not a game. Pay attention. Wow. What? No way. Wow. You see what's going on here? Since 1999, they've been trying to show us this. Don't say it. What did that mummy mean when it said the language of the slaves? Why, when he showed that certain thing, he automatically said he could use him for something? I mean, you know what time is it? Shh! Shut up! They've been showing us since 1999 when this movie came out, and we thought it was just a movie. Now we're starting to see that it had a deeper meaning. He showed him that, and then he said he could use him. And then he offered him something. Does it sound familiar? Come on, guys, you know what it is. Do I have to really tell you? Shh! Shut up! I mean, they already told you. If you was paying attention. That's why, as you get older, you gotta go back and watch these movies, because you start to see things you didn't see when you was younger. Which is absolutely nothing, because this video is for entertainment purposes only, and this is one of my favorite movies. The Mummy. Classic. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think about this. What did he mean? Why, when he showed that, he was ready to work with him? Let me know. I'm out.
Shout out to Zay Reacts there, because he just shown us what has been happening in the music industry. The symbol that we have just seen there is the same that we see in cults that artists use to sell their souls to the devil and become slaves.
Home Alone actually has a pretty deep spiritual message behind it. Let me break it down. So the movie starts out by showing us the house in complete and utter chaos. All of the kids are running around. They're not listening to their parents. And matter of fact, they're all very rude.
Hi, hey, son, I just bought that. Get anything done around here. Fella, hey, little guy.
I mean, not only that, we also see our main character, Kevin, who blatantly disrespects his mom.
Kevin, out of the room. Hang up the phone and make me, why don't you?
Now remember, the whole house is like this. All of the kids are rude, and it's just complete chaos there. The parents really have no control, and there's disrespect all around. It's almost like a house full of sin. Now, what's crazy is we also see the burglar appearing as a cop.
Don't worry about your home. It's in good hands.
Not only is that clear as day, the devil appearing as an angel of light symbolism, But the house being in utter chaos is a symbolism because that's how the devil works. When there's no order, it's easy for him to show up. And that is the burglar. Then we see a man named Old Man Marley. Now he's going to become significant later on. But right now, take a look at what he's doing.
He walks up and down the streets every night, salting the sidewalks.
Him salting the earth is actually very important, right? So that's straight out of Matthew chapter 5, verse 13. It says, ye are the salt of the earth. So now later on, I'm going to connect why that's significant, but keep that in mind. Then Kevin makes a ginormous mess and he disrespects his mom again.
You're the only one acting up. Now get upstairs.
I am upstairs, dummy.
And then he also makes a wish that his family would disappear.
I wish they would all just disappear.
Now, Proverbs chapter 18, verse 21 says, death and life are in the power of the tongue. And of course, the wish is granted.
I made my family disappear.
Now, this answered wish actually mirrors how sometimes God will give us exactly what we insist on, not because he delights in it, but because it exposes the true conditions of the heart. See, Romans 1:24 says, wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. See, this movie shows us a truth that we hate. Sometimes God's judgment looks like getting exactly what we wanted.
What do you mean?
Guys, I'm eating junk and watching rubbish. You better come out and stop me.
See, at first, Kevin thinks it's a good thing. He eats all the junk food he wants, he makes all the mess he wants, and he stays up late, watches movies, does whatever. Nobody can tell him what to do. But then, the fear sets in.
Which way?
Go around back down the basement. Come on, follow me.
See, not only did he fear the bandits, but he also was afraid of the basement. Now, in the basement, there's a furnace in there that a pet movie shows off as very scary and eerie. And so it's almost like the fear of the basement is a fear of judgment. And we even see more fear when he runs into Old Man Marley in the store. Now, take a look at Old Man Marley's hands. You see how they're pierced all the way through? See, this is the second clue that we get, just like the first clue where he was salting the earth, that Old Man Marley is the Christ figure for the movie. Now, once we get to the end, I promise you it'll make total sense. But see, this theme of fear is very important because in the beginning, Kevin wasn't fearful. He was actually very arrogant. The fear doesn't come until the separation. Just like in Genesis, when Adam and Eve, they became afraid once they bit of the fruit. But see, it's also that fear that led him to repentance. See, what's interesting is at first, he goes to Santa.
Please tell him that instead of presents this year, I just want my family back.
Then where does he go next? He goes to the church. He walks in, and who does he see there? Old Man Marley. Now, Old Man Marley, actually, he feared as well. But see, it's because of the church that he learned to trust Old Man Marley. And now, because he learned to trust him, that is where the repentance came from.
I've been kind of a pain lately. I said some things I shouldn't have. I really haven't been too good this year.
Proverbs chapter 9, verse 10 says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And see, this is where Kevin's wisdom starts to kick in. So he goes home, he realizes he's the man of the house, he has courage, and he goes and sets the traps for the burglars.
We know that you're in there, and that you're all alone.
Yeah, come on, kid, open up.
Now, meanwhile, his mom is very desperate to try and get home to him. And take a look at what she says.
If I have to sell my soul to the devil himself, I am going to get home to my son.
It's kind of funny that that's the route that she would go to, but not once did she consider prayer. I don't know. I thought that was just kind of interesting. Anyway, back at the house, Kevin is pretty successful with the traps, but he ends up getting pinned down. And take a look who saves him. See, what's interesting is Kevin doesn't save himself. Old Man Marley does. The man who was salting the earth, wounded in his hand, and was the reason that Kevin turned to repentance at the church. So what saved Kevin is ultimately grace. See, Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8 and 9 says, for by grace ye are saved, through faith, that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast. See, Kevin, his traps, and everything that he did to stop the burglars, that would be considered works. And it worked up to a point, but ultimately it was grace that was required in order for him to defeat the evil. So see, this parallels as clear as day. So next time somebody tries to tell you to watch Home Alone, make sure y'all watch it through this lens and teach them that it is by grace that ye are saved. Follow God on Film for more.
I know Home Alone was many people's favorite back in the day, but I did not have that perspective. As he just explained, it's truly amazing how these moves have hidden messages. Comment down below what you think, and let's continue.
I was watching The Lord of the Rings when I realized something crazy. So we know the movies are an adaptation of Tolkien's novels, but wait. Tolkien was an English writer, and he died in 1973. A year like many others, right? Well, check this out.
3 were given to the elves, 7 to the dwarf lords, 9 rings were gifted to the race of men, 1 ring to rule them all.
The year Tolkien died matches the reverse order of the rings. That's crazy.
You absolutely need to show this video to your kids. This security camera footage shows a man in a cap and a mask asking a little girl for help, holding out a map and asking her how to get to a certain place. But in reality, normal adults don't go up to kids asking them for help like that. Pay attention to how nervous he is, how he keeps twitching, and how he keeps trying to shove the map right up in this girl's face. That's important, because watch what happens to her next. He himself is wearing a mask and is holding the map as far away from his own face as possible. Now look at how the girl steps back and grabs her head. She starts to feel dizzy and almost passes out. A second person, who is working with him in this criminal scheme and standing nearby, immediately grabs the girl and starts leading her away, most likely toward the road to push her into a car. Thankfully, there was a woman nearby who instantly sensed something was wrong, and thanks to her, they were able to save the girl. The girl herself can barely stand on her feet. She's clearly feeling really sick. People like this usually work in pairs, in groups of 3, or even with a whole crew. Be extremely careful and alert around strangers who ask you for help.
The video shows a young couple who went to a church to baptize their child. Everything looks completely normal at first, the priest, the candles, the prayers, but suddenly an elderly woman appears behind them. She doesn't say a single word, she just walks up and stands uncomfortably close to the young mother, as if on purpose. The woman notices her and politely asks her to step back at least a little, but the elderly woman doesn't react at all and just stands there. The baby starts crying, and the mother turns to calm the child. At that moment, the strange woman moves even closer, so close that it looks like she's about to grab the young woman's hair. Shocked, the mother quickly turns around, looks at the elderly woman, then at the camera, and asks her more firmly to move away. Only then does the woman finally leave. At first glance, it seems like nothing serious happened, but the comments under the video turned into a wave of alarm. Many people claim that the elderly woman was trying to cast a curse or steal youth and health while no one was paying attention. According to some old beliefs, witches can transfer illnesses, aging, or even take years of life from a child through touch or extremely close contact during sacred rituals.
It's been a long time since a case disturbed me the way this one did. Because whatever is inside this house doesn't want the parents. It wants the baby. If you look closely at the footage, you can clearly see fingers reaching toward the crib. They appear again and again, trying to touch the baby. The parents had placed a camera above the crib to monitor their child while she slept. While reviewing the recordings, they began noticing movements the baby couldn't possibly be making on her own. So they checked the footage more carefully. Before I continue, it's important to say this clearly. At the time of the recording, the baby was alone in the room. In the video, you first see the baby sleeping peacefully. Then strange orbs pass in front of the camera, and suddenly a hand appears, fingers reaching in from beneath the crib. Terrified, the parents increased surveillance and placed another camera in the room from a different angle. In this new footage, you can see the mattress slowly lifting, not bouncing, not shifting, rising, like something underneath is pushing it up. Both cameras are recording at the same time, and in neither angle can you see a person. No shadow, no body, nothing. Then it gets worse. More fingers appear, pressing into the mattress. You can even see the fabric being crushed from below. At one point, the father wakes up after hearing noises. The moment he wakes, everything stops. The parents considered the idea that someone could be hiding under the crib, but the mother explained there is no space underneath. Not enough room for an adult. Not even enough for a child. They also noticed the baby was extremely restless, struggling to sleep, moving constantly, as if she sensed something in the room with her. That's when they made a decision. They stopped letting the baby sleep in the crib. She began sleeping in their bed instead. After that, the activity seemed to stop, but only for a few days. They later placed another camera on the floor to record underneath the crib directly, and what it captured is horrifying. You can see the same hand again. No arm, no body, just the hand, and behind it, something else. What looks like a face. Again, the father wakes up after hearing the mattress move. He checks the crib. There is nothing there. Eventually, they remove the mattress completely. Days pass with no incidents. So they put everything back and return the baby to the crib. That was their worst mistake. The activity returns immediately. Shadows move. Hands appear again. In one moment, you can clearly see two hands at the same time. The father wakes up again from the sounds. He looks around. Nothing. They only realize what's happening later, while reviewing the footage. Some people say they're bugs. Others say they're dust or camera artifacts. But explain this. Two hands, pressing upward, at the same time, with no space for a body. In many cultures, especially in Latin America, there are old warnings. Never leave a baby alone at night, because witches, or something worse, are said to try to take them. But this didn't happen in Latin America. This happened somewhere else entirely. So what do you think this was? A trick of the camera, or something trying to take what didn't belong to it? Tell me your theory in the comments. Follow so you don't lose the channel, if you're not afraid to get scared at night.
Quite some creepy videos there showing us how evil the world we be living in right now, with all these people doing these evil things and ghosts roaming around. I just hope you all stay vigilant and be safe out there.
Right over the corner is a warlock who is going to use a type of witchcraft that is gaining in popularity here in the States. Nobody's talking about it, so he's got a baby with him to try and look innocent, but in reality, this man's already spotted a victim. He's going to start off by throwing a fiery dart. There you go. That's to subdue her mind, allowing him to touch her without being noticed. He's got to put something on her skin, and he's about to go do it now. All right, watch him. He's going to do it really fast. He gets down. Boom. Check that out. So, what he just did there was put a substance on her skin. We'll get to that substance in a second. At this point, the woman in the video said that she began feeling dizzy. She knew something was wrong. To get this woman where he wants to, he needs to talk to her. So he tries to start a conversation right here, but she ignores him. Instead, she goes to her sister, who's in the next aisle, and she escapes danger. If he were successful, he would have gained 100% control of that woman's mind, her body, her finances, anything he wanted. He would have gotten a yes out of her. It's evil, but it's becoming quite popular in the US and nobody's talking about it. So I have to expose it. I'm about to show you what he was doing, why he failed, how you can avoid being a victim of this thing. And then I'm going to go ahead and pray for y'all in the end. All right. I know it as Isalamuzi, but different places have a different name for the same thing.
What happens here is a warlock will find a victim. Sometimes they'll pray about it, but anyway, they'll throw a fiery dart at them. That's to subdue them.
Lucifer Morning Star, Holy Trinity Church in England. Why y'all got that motherfucker in there for? Why y'all got this motherfucker in there for? Why y'all always gotta have demonic demons inside your motherfucking churches for, dog? This should be letting me know everything that I already be knowing about you motherfuckers. When y'all say y'all worshiping God and Lord, that's who the fuck y'all really be talking about. I'm dead ass serious. Y'all got him in your church too motherfucking much, dog. Just like at the Vatican. Y'all got all them demonic demon statues every motherfucking well. Why y'all got all these demons around all these churches and all these cathedrals and shit? What's up with that shit? Tell me who you really work for. Show me who you really work for. Cause y'all be putting this shit right in front of our motherfucking face, hitting in plain sight. And everybody think these motherfuckers so holier than thou whole time, but they worshiping Lucifer out this motherfucker. Big facts. And when you look into the history of all these churches all around the motherfucking world, especially here in America too, all the things they be doing behind closed doors, things they used to do to people who look like me back in the motherfucking day, you can see that people are worshiping some real demonic shit and acting like they good people when they really evil motherfuckers. But you ain't gotta believe me. They putting it in your motherfucking face, dog.
This ain't fashion. This ain't fashion. What kind of outfit is this, Gunna? Because the people are concerned. That's what they're saying. They're concerned about this outfit. And it doesn't look like drip. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. Oh, and he's pointing that finger up to the sky. We all know what that means. Matter of fact, let's get a closer look at this outfit. What does this mean, Gunna? You could have chose anything else. Why you want to choose skeletons? Why? Oh, you know why. He's down with the club. The club that you can't get into unless you follow certain rules and regulations. And that's why they keep on doing things like this. They don't care what we think about it. They have to do it. You think when Gunna shows up to these shows, he's setting things up like this? Nah, it's already set up like that. Long and behold, what the hell is this, bro? What is this? And I think you know what this is because I showed you before. And everybody showed you and everybody told you, but let's not forget, guys, this is just hip-hop. Every show, everything is a dark theme. What happened to light? What happened to the light? These people like to be in darkness. Bro, there's no lights in there. Take the shades off, homie. They can't. You see, they can't show you their eyes for some reason. Very interesting. But of course, this video is for entertainment purposes only, and Gunna's the best. His music is fire. And this outfit, even better. I don't know. Let me know.
I never understand why people always be idolizing these demonic entities. But it has always been this way since the dawn of time. I guess it's part of the battle between the good and evil.
2,000 years ago, a group of outcasts discovered that if you synchronize the heart and the lungs to a very specific linguistic pulse, the human body becomes a receiver for a light that doesn't come from the sun. It comes from God. Historians call it monastic prayer. Esotericists call it signal recovery. But its real name is hesychasm. What in the world is hesychasm, you might be asking? Let's talk about it. So hesychasm comes from the Greek hesychia, meaning stillness, silence, or quiet. Developed by the desert fathers of Egypt and Syria in the 3rd and 4th centuries, these were monks who retreated into the wilderness to dismantle every layer of noise the world had built inside them until something underneath was finally audible. They were listening for a light. Oh yeah, and if you're interested in learning more about esoteric Christianity and other mystery traditions like Gnosticism and Kabbalah, make sure to click the link in my bio because the doors to the inner sanctum are opening for a limited time very soon. We're talking less than a week till launch, so if you're interested, make sure to click the link. We would love to see you there. Okay, so the central technology of hesychasm is the Jesus prayer. Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy on me, a sinner. Repeated continuously and synchronized with the breath and heartbeat until the distinction between the prayer and the one praying dissolves completely. This was frequency entrainment, okay? The prayer's specific rhythm, its syllable count, its cadence, and its phonetic structure in original Greek created a precise vibrational pulse that shifted the entire nervous system into a state the tradition called nepsis, total watchful stillness. Interior silence so complete that the ordinary noise of mental activity ceased entirely. The prayer had to descend from the head into the heart before it became operational. A prayer that stays in the mind is just theology, but a prayer that reaches the heart is technology. But before you can practice hesychasm, there's something else that you need to know first. The prerequisite for everything else was phylake cardius, or the guard of the heart. The Desert Fathers observed that the unguarded heart is a receiver tuned to every frequency simultaneously. Desires, fears, intrusive thoughts, what the tradition called logsamoi, or the thought demons that colonize unguarded consciousness and redirect its energy away from the divine signal. Guard of the heart meant standing watch at the threshold of consciousness, intercepting every thought before it penetrated deeply enough to generate a reaction. Seeing a thought arise the way a watchman sees someone approaching the city gate, recognizing it, naming it, and refusing it entry before it became a resident. For those who sustained it, the interior noise dropped below a certain threshold, and in that silence, the signal becomes detectable. Now that sounds great, but let's dive deeper into exactly where this leads. The destination of hesychasm is theosis, or deification, actual participation in the divine nature, so complete that the boundary between the human person and the divine presence becomes genuinely permeable. Gregory Palamas, the 14th century theologian who became hesychasm's greatest defender, distinguished between the divine essence, being utterly transcendent and beyond all created being, and the divine energies, the living light of God that extends into creation and can be genuinely participated in by a prepared human consciousness. Now the hesychast pointed to the transfiguration as their historical proof. On Mount Tabor, Christ's face shone like the sun, his garments became white as light, and the disciples fell on their faces. Palamas taught that what they witnessed was the first time human consciousness had opened sufficiently to perceive what was always present, the uncreated Taboric light, the eternal divine energy surrounding God's presence, briefly visible to eyes prepared to receive it. The hesychast mystics reported the same light in their deepest states of prayer, the same frequency, and the same source. So in today's terms, what does this mean for you? It means the human body, properly prepared, is a receiver. The signal it's capable of receiving when the heart is guarded, when breath and prayer and heartbeat achieve precise synchronization, originates above the physical cosmos entirely. The light is real. The frequency is real. The technology works. The question is whether you're willing to go quiet enough for long enough to finally receive it. So if you want to learn more about hesychasm, Christian mysticism, and how to work with these traditions in your own practice, make sure to like the video, drop your thoughts in the comments below, and head over to the link in my bio for more information about our esoteric community and our deepest research, and make sure to follow for more videos like this. Till next time, guys.
Who exactly is Yaldabaoth? So let's go back to the eons. Think of them like powers, archetypes, or divine concepts, but alive. These are what the mind of God looks like when it becomes self-aware, and each one carries a different trait of the infinite mind. The eon called Harmazel contains truth, Oriel contains conceptualization, Davathai contains understanding and love, Alalith contains wisdom. Well, guess what the Greek word for wisdom is? Sophia. So Sophia isn't just a concept, she's alive. She wanted to bring forth something like herself without the consent of the spirit and without the knowledge of her partner. She gave birth to an abomination. Instead of light, she created shadow. Instead of a dream, she created a nightmare. The text says it changed into the form of a dragon with a lion's head and eyes flashing lightning bolts. Okay, so Sophia is totally horrified and ashamed. She doesn't want anyone in the light to see what she just created. So she hides this guy in a cloud, seals him off in shadow, but the damage is already done. You guessed it. The text says she named him Yaldabaoth, the one who flooded the planet, demanded sacrifice, threatened damnation.
There is a war for your soul. I believe that there is a war going on from somebody out there that was an original enemy of whoever created us. So whoever created us has enemies out there in the universe that are diabolical enemies. We know this is true in government. You may see the president and the first lady and all of that, but they have enemies, powerful enemies. That's why they have to be totally surrounded by military and protection, because they have serious enemies. Something happened to me that tells me that there's something going on like that. Many years ago, my wife and some friends, we went to Hawaii for the first time, and I was sitting in a restaurant across the street from the Hilton Village, and someone came in, and I immediately had an electrical charge go through my body, and something told me, run quick, you're in trouble, you're going to die, run quick. And I ran out the back door of the restaurant, and the voice said, run quick, you're in trouble, go across the street to the hotel. And I screamed, and I remember yelling, I can't go across the street, there's traffic out there. And it said, run, there will be no traffic, run. And so I ran out into the street. I was not making a conscious decision to do any of this, and I kept thinking, what did I just do? And how am I going to explain this to my wife and my friends? That happened to me twice, and it was involuntary. I didn't make a conscious choice to run. I have no idea what that all means, so I'm just telling you what happened.
If you're seeking the real truth, if you want to understand what you are and where we are, check the link in the profile bio.
There you have it, another wild ride through the weirdest corners of the internet. Thanks for hanging out with us here at Chill Spot. If you had a good time, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell so you never miss our next creepy adventure. Got a spooky clip we haven't covered yet? Drop it in the comments below. Until next time, stay chill, stay curious, and we'll catch you in the next one.